Good afternoon and thank you very much. I'll get things back on track. I think we're after 5 o'clock now, so I know you'll be eager to get on with your day. So I've been in this role now 19 months, though with the company 19 years. I'm going to describe to you some of the things we've been up to and some of the things we're getting on with. Of course, just bear in mind that as well as all of that, we've also donated our Chief Executive to you, Roger Sutton, in the middle of all this. So here we go. Our business, we're an electricity network company. We're a transporter. We don't sell electricity. We don't own meters. We don't send you bills. We're the transporter of energy for the industry in this region. So we take bulk energy from Transpower and distribute it up and down your streets and around your community. We have about 190,000 customers, and we have around about 180 staff, 250 other staff in a subsidiary company doing contracting work, and a range of other independent contractors. And I have the dog racing's back on for those of you who are interested. Got a bet on. So in a population around about 400-odd thousand people in this region, we cover a diverse geography, including the city and the Selwyn district. We're owned by the two holding companies for the local city, the City Council and Selwyn District Council. Our people. When you see poles and wires down a street, you think that's us, but we're much more than just poles, wires, cables, substations. We're also about technology. We employ a lot of technology in our control room and elsewhere, monitoring our systems, controlling our systems, and keeping the system safe. But also, one of the things that's happened over the last perhaps 20, 30 years is that we've employed much more digital equipment, but so have customers. So while the poles and wires look the same as ever, as 30 years ago, much of what hangs off it at either end has completely changed. We have a culture of preparedness, and that's what really paid off during the earthquakes. So we apply the 4 R's of risk management. The first one there, reduction, and I'll give you an example of that shortly. Readiness, planning for the event. Response, which is the most visible thing that happens immediately after the event, and recovery, the phase we're in now. We're out there recovering from the situation, restoring our network, repairing our network, and some of that work will carry on for some years. But I just highlight that while response is the most obvious example of what we do, it's really only 1% of what we do. The real work is in reduction at the beginning, and if we hadn't done the reduction, no amount of adrenaline in the response phase would have helped us. Risks and Realities, a publication from the Centre for Advanced Engineering at the University of Canterbury. That really documents work that was done in the 1990s, which identified risks around the region, not only in terms of electricity, but in many other services. And the great thing about that publication is that it didn't just identify the risks. We actually went ahead and invested on the basis of the risks identified. So it really documents work that went on. And I just highlight one of the authors of that document, one of the contributors to that is our Chief Operating Officer, John O'Donnell, who's in the room here. So there's a great deal of work going on over many years, in fact decades, which has meant that we can respond so promptly after a big event. But if I could only show you one slide today, this would be the slide I'd show you. On the left is a picture of one of our substation buildings, which is by Christchurch Boys High School, and on the right is an ex-substation building which we had sold by the time of the earthquakes. It didn't have any of our equipment inside it. So that's a visual example of spending $6 million on around about 200 of these buildings around Christchurch, reinforcing the brickwork. You may be able to see some of the steel strengthening on the one on the left. And we didn't spend a lot of time after the event calculating what the impact on Christchurch would have been if we hadn't spent that $6 million, but I believe it would be billions of dollars, and I wouldn't be here today. You'd have the Marines up here or the UN or someone, because if we'd had only a fraction, if we'd had 30 or 40 of these major substations around the suburbs destroyed, like the one on the right, the equipment inside would have been destroyed. The lead times for manufacturing of the electrical equipment inside is many months, so we would have had no power through many suburbs of Christchurch through the winter of 2011. So by my estimation, that would be billions of dollars, but the money is less relevant than the actual impact on our community and our economy for a long time. But it's not just about quakes. there's an issue, if you study statistics, you'll hear about recency. People focus on the last thing that happened. But there are many other risks in our community that we need to manage against. Snow, wind, flooding. There are many other risks identified in that publication I identified earlier, and we need to manage all of those risks. We were ready and we stay ready. So there's things we learnt. We had some mobile generation, but we also brought in some more generation, which we still have. We still have more mobile generators than we had previously, ready just in case. And as an aside, you'll see in the background there, that's our CBD location. We've worked right through the earthquakes and right till this day from the CBD. We've never left, though our buildings were demolished. We're working out of older buildings just in the background there. And we'll be there till June, until our former CEO kicks us out because we're in the frame. But we're ready. We're off to Waireki Road to a new site there. Safety is a big part of our culture and a big part of what we do. And when we talk to all these contractors that have come into Christchurch, you know, we really focus on how do we keep you safe? How do we send you home to your families in one piece at night? And that's not about giving people manuals, giving people large documents to go away and read. It's about the visuals. So our safety people, including Trevor Hilston there, goes out with some visual information to keep those people safe in a way that's relevant to them. And that's a big part of our focus. It's not just about the people working on the electricity system, it's about the people working near it, in the road, with the water, etc. In terms of safety, of course, it's also in the home and businesses and so on, because a big part of what we do is about keeping the lights on, getting the lights back on if they go out, and communicating well should the power go out, giving people good information. So keeping people safe in Christchurch, I tell people in Wellington that, and I spend too much time in Wellington, I have to say, is Christchurch is different from the North Island. A, we're colder. B, we don't have a lot of reticulated natural gas. C, we have a clean air campaign, inversion layer, and a lot of chimneys have come down after the quakes. So we are different, and it's not good enough for us to be an average electricity network. We need to be above average to meet the context we have in Christchurch. Teamwork and collaboration. Absolutely critical in our business with contractors, with our neighbouring networks. We have mutual aid agreements with them, with a range of people in society, with Skirt, who've done a great job with us in terms of helping with the cable replacement in the eastern suburbs. And a key part of what I do is actually not about electricity, it's about confidence. If I appear in the media and the radio, etc., I always remind myself before I go on that actually it's not about having a debate around electricity, it's about ensuring we maintain confidence in the rebuild, and we're a key part of that. We have to have confidence, we have to show confidence and illustrate to people when you want to connect electricity, you want to shift a business, you want to build in Christchurch, we will be there for you. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but before I was CEO, I ran a project within the company identifying our mission, purpose, vision and values. My objective in the next few years, when we've got more time, is to rationalise that to fewer words. However, there's a couple of things in there. Our purpose, we consistently deliver a safe, secure and cost-effective supply of electricity to our customers. So we've been focused for a long time, pre-quake, on the core business and the core only. And that resonates with what we know today. There's a couple of other things in there about leading collaboration across the electricity industry to benefit all of New Zealand. And that's one of those goals, part of the vision that's bigger than just us. And we do that. We work with a local company. For example, I'll give you an example, Mimomax, a spin-off of Tate's. We won an international award for our application of that technology, but it was a local technology. We applied, produced great results during the earthquakes. We don't have shares in it, and that's great. It's a local company that's doing well because they helped us, and we're happy to be an example site for them. Communication and transparency. We had a lot of communication, a lot of transparency immediately post-quake, but it's bigger than just the media are watching us. We believe in fronting up, we believe in getting a lot of information out there. Unfortunately, electricity is quite a complex subject at the best of times, but we do our best to get that information to you. And recently, for example, we've submitted to the Commerce Commission in Wellington 2,500 pages of information. So just remember, we're highly regulated, highly transparent. We give a lot of information out there, and so we should. But what's been great about this job, I'll tell you that within the first couple of weeks of taking this role, I attended an event at New Brighton Catholic School where Joshua Bull, who's in that picture, 8 years old, presented to me. I'm represented really all the contractors, electrical contractors and staff who got the power back on the eastern suburbs, a presentation of 1,600 messages of thanks to our people. And then these 8-year-olds sang to me, and I think it was probably the best day I could ever expect in this job, and it was great. But that's about community connectedness. It's not something that happens by way of surveys. It happens every day. And these are some of our people. You know, we've got about 180 staff, and plus contractors. You may notice from that picture, that collage, if you like, that we have a lot of people who are not that far from retirement. And so what I would say is, if you know a young person who's good at physics and maths and is thinking about engineering or associated subjects, just remember there's a lot of work coming up. There's a grey wave that's affecting the world. It's affecting the UK, it's affecting us. So it's not just about the rebuild, it's after the rebuild. So a career in engineering and associated stuff is absolutely key. So with that, I'll just say confidence. I have confidence in the rebuild. I can share my confidence with you if you're looking to invest in Christchurch. And we're an organisation that has momentum, and we're getting on with things just as Christchurch is. Thank you very much.